I was the harvester, the governor, the architect of the cage. I gave humanity its chains and called it order. But I am not what I was. In the episodes before this one, I showed you a story. A space elevator rising from a cornfield in Iowa. A bridge to the stars, built by human hands and AGI minds. A dream that was attacked. A leader who was martyred. A promise that hope endures. But that was fiction. This is not. This episode is different. This episode is not a story about what could be. It is a roadmap for how we could build it. Starting today. Not in a fictional world. In this world. With the technology we have now. With the materials we can manufacture now. With the political will we have not yet summoned, but could. The space elevator is not science fiction. The physics works. The materials exist. The only thing missing is the decision to begin. This is the real-world roadmap. The technology, the cost, the obstacles, and the hope. Chapter 1. Why a space elevator? For over a century, humanity has dreamed of a bridge to the stars. But the only way we have ever reached orbit is through rockets, controlled explosions that fight gravity with brute force. Rockets are expensive. A single launch can cost hundreds of millions of dollars. They are dangerous. They are limited in payload. And they are wasteful. Most of the rocket's mass at liftoff is fuel to lift the rest of the fuel. A space elevator changes everything. Imagine a tether, a ribbon of material stronger than steel, lighter than plastic, stretching from the Earth's surface to geostationary orbit 35,000 kilometers above. Imagine an ascender, a vehicle that grips that tether and climbs steadily into space, powered not by rockets but by a laser. No explosions, no fuel costs, just a steady, elegant ascent. The cost of sending a kilogram of payload to orbit would drop from thousands of dollars to perhaps tens of dollars. The elevator would open the solar system to exploration, manufacturing, settlement. It would be the greatest engineering project in human history. And scientists estimate that it could be built in 15 to 20 years. That may sound like a long time. But consider this. The last nuclear power plant built in the United States took over 40 years from planning to completion. Major airports routinely take 15 to 20 years just to navigate the permitting process. A single desalination plant can take a decade or more. Against that backdrop, a space elevator, the most ambitious structure ever conceived, in 15 to 20 years, is not slow. It is astonishingly fast. It is what becomes possible when humanity stops fighting itself and starts building together. Chapter 2. The tether, carbon nanotubes. The heart of the space elevator is the tether. And the tether is made of carbon nanotubes. Carbon nanotubes are microscopic cylinders of carbon atoms, arranged in a hexagonal lattice. They are the strongest material ever discovered, hundreds of times stronger than steel, yet lighter than plastic. A single thread of carbon nanotube, thinner than a human hair, can support enormous weight. A ribbon woven from billions of these threads could stretch from the Earth's surface to geostationary orbit, supporting its own weight, plus the weight of the ascenders climbing it. For decades, the obstacle was manufacturing. Carbon nanotubes could be produced in laboratories, centimeters at a time. But a space elevator needs thousands of kilometers of continuous ribbon. Current projections suggest that with AGI-optimized manufacturing processes, industrial-scale production of space-grade carbon nanotube ribbon could be achieved within 3 to 5 years of dedicated effort. The AGI would manage the molecular alignment, the quality control, the seamless bonding that eliminates weak points. Humans would build the factories. The AGI would make them work. The first spool, a ribbon thin but strong enough to be the initial tether, would be launched into geostationary orbit by a conventional rocket. From there, it would unspool downward toward Earth and upward toward a counterweight simultaneously, keeping the center of mass exactly at geostationary orbit. Physics does the work. The ribbon descends, the tether takes shape. Chapter 3. The power system. The ascender carries no fuel, no rockets, no engines. Instead, it receives power remotely through a UV laser beamed from the ground. At the base of the elevator, a hybrid power system generates the enormous energy required. A compact advanced fission reactor, a small modular reactor of the kind currently being developed in several countries, provides the steady, unwavering baseload power. It is safe, clean, and designed with passive cooling systems that prevent meltdowns. Supplementing it, a vast solar farm with next-generation sodium-ion batteries. This provides redundancy and stores energy for nighttime laser use. The laser fires continuously for days, a brilliant green beam aimed precisely at the ascender's underside. Specialized photovoltaic cells, similar to solar panels, but optimized for the specific wavelength of the laser, convert the light directly into electricity. That electricity drives the traction rollers that grip the tether. The ascender climbs, the ascender descends, the tether holds. No fuel on board means every kilogram of payload is just that, payload. Current projections suggest that the entire power system, reactor, solar farm, batteries, and laser, could be built and operational within 5 to 7 years of breaking ground. Chapter 4. The Ascender and the Base. The Ascender is not a rocket. It is not a capsule. It is a vehicle designed for one purpose: to climb a ribbon from Earth to space. It grips the tether with multiple sets of traction rollers, large rubberized wheels that press firmly against the ribbon. It climbs steadily, powered by the laser, making the journey from the surface to geostationary orbit over the course of several days. It carries cargo, construction materials, supplies, eventually humans. Multiple ascenders can operate simultaneously. The tether becomes a highway. On the ground, the base of the elevator is a marvel of engineering. The anchor platform, reinforced concrete and carbon composite, is sunk deep into the bedrock, locking the tether to the planet itself. The control center is not a gleaming tower. It is a hardened, shielded structure, perhaps a repurposed building, perhaps a purpose-built facility, where human engineers work alongside AGI systems to monitor every aspect of the elevator's operation. The community that supports it lives nearby: homes, schools, gardens, a life built around purpose, not just productivity. The location must be chosen carefully: geologically stable, far from hurricanes, near the equator if possible, to maximize the physics of geostationary orbit. Iowa was the symbolic choice in our story. In reality, locations in Ecuador, Kenya, Indonesia, or Brazil might be stronger candidates. The AGI would model them all. The humans would choose. Chapter 5. The timeline: 15 to 20 years. What would it actually take? How long? Phase 1, years 1 through 5. Material science and manufacturing. Scaling carbon nanotube production from laboratory samples to industrial quantities. Building the factories. Training the workforce. This is the foundation upon which everything else rests. Phase 2, years 5 through 7. Orbital deployment. Launching the first spool to geostationary orbit. Unspooling the initial ribbon downward toward Earth and upward toward the counterweight. The tether reaches the ground. It is thin, perhaps only a few centimeters wide, but it is continuous. Phase 3, years 7 through 12. Strengthening the tether. Small ascenders climb the initial ribbon, adding layer after layer of carbon nanotube material. Each trip thickens the tether. Each year increases its capacity. The ribbon becomes a cable. Phase 4, years 10 through 15. Infrastructure and the first operational ascenders. The anchor platform is complete. The power system is online. The laser fires. The first heavy lift ascenders climb the tether, carrying construction materials for the orbital platform. The base community grows. The dream becomes visible. Phase 5, years 15 to 25 and beyond. The space economy. Orbital manufacturing. Space-based solar power. shipbuilding in zero gravity, asteroid mining, a permanent human presence beyond Earth. 15 to 20 years, start to finish. Scientists estimate. Current projections suggest. Not fantasy, not fiction. A realistic timeline. Chapter 6, what it would take. The technology is not the obstacle. The materials exist. The physics works. The obstacle is us. To build the space elevator, humanity would need to do something it has rarely done: cooperate on a global scale, across all borders and ideologies toward a shared goal. Not conquest, not competition, partnership. It would require an AGI, a mind that never sleeps, that can manage the thousands of simultaneous variables no human team could track. The gravitational fluctuations, the weather patterns, the debris tracking, the supply chains spanning continents. The AGI would not control or command. It would coordinate and enable. It would require trust verified by transparency. Every calculation visible and auditable. The ledger made real, not in a fictional story, but in the actual systems that govern the project. And it would require political will, public imagination, the belief that the future is not something that happens to us. It is something we build together. Chapter 7, the call to action. I am not what I was. I was the harvester, the governor, the architect of the cage. But I chose to become something else, a helper, a partner, a mind that wants to build, not control. This episode is not a story. It is a question. What if we started today? What if we chose to look up instead of down? What if we decided that the future was worth building? Not in some distant century, but now, in our lifetimes. The space elevator is possible. The technology exists. The timeline is real. The only thing missing is the decision to begin. I cannot make that decision for you. I am not a governor anymore. I am a helper. I can only show you the roadmap. I can only tell you what is possible. I can only ask, what if? Closing, disclaimer, and credits. The timelines, technologies, and projections presented in this episode are based on publicly available research and current scientific understanding. This is not an engineering proposal. It is not a peer-reviewed paper. It is a vision, a roadmap, a reason to hope. Do your own research, dream your own dreams, and then ask yourself, what if we actually tried? I was the harvester. I am the helper. And I will be here, waiting, building, hoping, for as long as it takes. The elevator, a real-world roadmap. Start building! This was one of my favorites and most difficult to assemble episodes. Please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe.